Guys, welcome back to my channel. This is episode 16 of my repair of my Mark II Escort panel van. Let me just go to the van, show you where we left off on the last one, and explain what I'm going to do. Okay, let's go. Okay, so on the last one I sprayed this double coat of cold galvanizing. This was the other plate. This plate I'm going to weld on here, something like that. And the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to drill 2 holes in this plate somewhere here so that I could tack it onto this through that holes, probably 3 holes I think, or maybe 2. I'll just decide. And then that's going to go on there. I'm going to grind that off, and I'm going to put a layer, or I'm going to spray some primer on here. All right, enjoy this video. Alright, so as you could see, and I'm sure you noticed, that this profile of this plate that I'm going to weld on here is not exactly the same as that profile. But what I'm going to do, I'm just going to heat this lot up, knock it down, get this to bend up against the A-post metal here, and then weld the whole lot in. Alright, let's carry on. Alright, so this is how this corner came out here. As you saw in the time lapse, I blended this plate all into this A pillar here. A post. I think in my other videos I've been saying B pillar. Yeah, A pillar. Sorry guys. Anyway, neither here nor there. So this is how this blended in. Yes, I regard this as relatively strong now here. Yeah, it should be, with all these braces in here. That's how that comes. So this is where the fender is going to mount on top here. This is how this came out. Yeah, it's just a little bit of surface rust on here, because this is about a day or 2 after I last worked on here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this on. I got some white primer here. I haven't got gray primer, but it doesn't really matter. And I'm just going to dust the light coating on here just to protect this. And then I'm going to carry on with these. Well, yeah, I'm going to cut out this section here, and I'm going to put a fresh piece of plate in here. I'm going to try to line all of this up, try to get this. I'm going to try to get all of this sorted out. You can see that is quite horrible there, so I'll have to remanufacture that. And then I'm going to start working forward now. I'm not saying this side is now done and perfect, but as I've been stating in all my other videos, I'm trying to do the worst work first. And once I got the engine out, gearbox out, diff and all that stuff out, and this is on the rotisserie, that's when I'm going to do the little niggly bits. So yeah, anyway, let me just spray this on and work out my next game plan here. Okay, so another point that I wanted to make was, although the original, from what I gathered, stopped somewhere here, you know, I still brought mine a little bit further. And then, I mean, like we all know, like you've seen, this is quite a corrosive area here. A lot of water get trapped here. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to actually extend this right up to against this section here. So when water does land here and it falls down, it doesn't like go into that gap there, lay in here and rot this thing out, because that's obviously what's been happening to these cars. I'm actually going to box this area off here, so if water do come down here, it will just be deflected this way, you know. And like I said in my previous video, I'm going to figure something out here to get the water to exit better. So, but I'm going to spray the white prime on here now. This is like part of the work that I'm going to do with the final touches. I know it sounds funny, but for my own sanity, I want to start carrying on instead of being hogged at the same spot all the time. But I'm definitely going to box this area off. Okay, let's just spray this on quickly. Right, so my next thing that I'm finding is that this ridge where the fender was tacked onto, which I'm going to bolt on afterwards, I'm not going to tack it on, is kind of all over the show. If I put a straight edge on the side here, from the front here to the back, you can actually see the gap there, and then it closes as it goes this way. So I'm assuming that this must be straight, because I really don't know how it must be. I don't know if there's a kink in here. I guess I'm going to just watch videos from wherever, from guys that's been working on these cars, and I'm going to see if he has a kink in here or not. If I look at the fender, if I look at the fender here, you know, let me just lift this up. If I run my eye down the fender, this looks relatively straight. So yeah, I guess this area that's all buckled and twisted, obviously this is when I took the fender off, this took some damage, and I'll have to repair this first of all, and then I think I'm just going to make this straight. I hope I'm doing the right thing, but we'll see. I'm going to put this fender on here and just see how it actually lays on here. Alright, so I put the bonnet and the fender back on, and just having a look here. This is all corroded away, but it's not actually looking too bad actually. This is all lifted up because of the corrosion that pushed this thing up here. So I'm going to start working. I'm going to repair that sill where the fender sits onto, and then I think I'll tackle this fender to get this area more or less correct. Then I think what I'll do eventually, after doing this fender and before finalizing gaps, I'll obviously hang the door and then just see how things look. Anyway, let's just carry on with this lot. Alright, so I just removed that ID tag of the car that was here to reveal that rust underneath it, and there's a hole there as well. So my next thing is I'm going to remove this bonnet cable, and if I go to the inside, that's where she sits. I'm going to remove that clips and take the handle off and remove the cable just to free up some space here, so this rubbers and stuff don't get damaged too much over here. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to grind this area off here just to see what I'm working with. I'll probably end up cutting a slot out here to get to that rod there, and then welding this all back up again. And then, as I said, when I repair this, I'm going to do it in segments. I'll chop this, like this piece out here, and replace that piece, and so forth. I could run one long one there, but I'm not sure if this area here is actually a straight area or if it actually got a curve. So if I must run a straight piece, I might lose a curvature or something. So I'm just going to do this in little segments. Okay, let me just remove this first. I'm going to do this off camera and then I'm going to start there. Okay, so I got that cable out. Here's it. So this actually goes all the way, it comes through this hole. So I'm just going to let it lay around here. I'm not going to disconnect it. I'm just going to lay, I just wanted this clear here. So I'm going to grind this area now here and start tackling this. So I got this back on here again. So something is very confusing to me. If I stick the camera through the headlight, and if you look up there, that joint there, I can't put my finger on it now, but that joint is the fender against the flange where it mounts. And if you look down, I don't know if you could see that. The fender actually runs off this thing. If I look at the back here, that is the plate that I mounted, that I welded on. But if you look at the fender, it's totally off it. I don't know if you can see it there. It's totally off that thing. So it seems as if, wait, let me just take this bonnet stuff off again. Alright, so I got the bonnet off. So I just thought I'll show you, it's easy to see. So you can see here, this is the mount of the fender, and look, where is that edge that I welded on? It's totally off. So it seems as if I remove this fender, it seems as if this line going down here seemed to be the one to follow. This is totally off shape here. Heaven alone knows how that happened. I don't know, maybe when I loosened off the fender and I hit here, because it was so corroded, it actually pushed this thing over. And me obviously not knowing how it had to be, I just repaired this according to what I was seeing here, not knowing. Obviously I noticed this kink here, but I wasn't sure if this thing was pushed this way or whatever. But it seems as if this line is actually like that to over there. So I'm not going to loosen all of this up. What I'm going to do, I'm going to repair this section here. I'm going to repair this here, but when it comes to this, I'm just going to put a plate. I'm going to weld the plate onto this one that I put here, more this way, so it will be thicker here, and it will actually run with a taper down here. So at the end of the day, this panel van is certainly going to have bespoke parts that other cars might not have. But anyway, let me just carry on. Alright, I'm going to stick to my game plan. I'm going to grind this off now and solve this issue here. Then I'm going to solve that issue and that issue. But like I said, I'm actually going to put a double plate on here. I'm not going to weld it on top of this, by the way. I'm going to weld it on this edge. And then I'll come all the way down. So I cut that rotten section out that was in there. So this is on the doubler here, so I'm assuming the rust probably is in there, but I'm going to put some rust converter in there now. I'm actually going to grind all the way down there and put some rust converter in. I cut this section off here, which I don't know, it's laying somewhere, that rotten section there. So you can see that's the double plate there. I'm actually going to chop this off because obviously there's rust underneath there also. I think that's a double plate for this section here. I'm going to take that off and I'm going to grind all of this clean underneath here and then start putting this patch inside here. Alright guys, I'm ending this one right here. Yeah, it's a lot of work, but I'm enjoying it, and I hope you are too. So yeah, don't forget to hit the notification bell, like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers for now.